All right, so I'm sure most of you are here to learn how to be a freelancer. You guys read the title and you guys are like, whoa, he's actually talking about something that's useful for once. Well, let's see how useful it is, because I've been a freelancer for most of my adult life. I've only had 2 regular people jobs. You know, I used to work in Bed Bath & Beyond when I moved to New York, and prior to that, I used to sell protein shakes, and that I don't even consider that regular people's job. If you would like to be a freelancer, there are a couple steps. Let me see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I managed to narrow it down to 7 steps. So they're very broad. I will expand on them, and if you have any questions or concerns or anything, please ask the questions. I'm here. I've done it. I'm living proof that you can live by yourself, support yourself with whatever you love to do, and make a future out of it. Step number 1 is save up. I think a lot of freelancers that I currently work with don't do this, and they've been having a really hard time. I think in the beginning of your journey, you're not going to have a steady income, right? So you have to have a 9 to 5. I think you should be able to minimize your expenses enough where you should have enough, about 3 months rent or 3 months of expenses. And honestly, it's very tough to get to that point. I'm not saying it's an easy job. None of these steps are easy. That's one of the things I want to give you. Nothing is easy. Nothing I'm telling you is going to be like a cheat code. Nothing is going to come, to you just because you did it once or twice. You got to keep doing it. So save up your money. If you have about 3 months worth of expenses, you will be able to not only survive, but also get through the moments where you're like, oh man, I'm not working and, I need to pay my rent, or I need to eat, or this and that. Obviously, there are government help. There is government help, but we're trying to bypass that. Highly recommend, if you are eligible for the government help, that helps you as a freelancer, because at this point you aren't earning as much as any freelancers would. It is a good safety net. Always having a good safety net is number 1. You don't want to feel discouraged because you're like, oh, I ran out of savings and I have to go get another 9 to 5. 3 months worth should be roughly enough where you can, take a couple days off and apply to other jobs. Number 2, location. If you're trying to be an underwater basket weaver, yeah, I'm sure Colorado has great pools. You can't be an underwater basket weaver in Colorado, especially when it's a landlocked state. All right, for me, my filmmaking industry, is New York and LA. I've visited both when I was younger, and I came to the realization that New York is more my vibe. I don't mind living in LA, but there is just a higher hurdle of success. Not only do you need to find a spot, right, like a place to live, but you need to have a car, and a car requires about a quarter of your expenses monthly. I don't care what kind of car you have, your insurance company, your gas, and any random expenses. I've had a car before, and I understand how expensive it can get to just fix little things here and there. Oh, your oil, especially if you don't know how to do it yourself. I'm sure if you have the technical knowledge to be able to work on your car, that will ease the pain. But you have to pay for your insurance. You can't insure yourself. If you live in New York, you don't require a car. Most of the people in New York are used to living with the roommates. I currently have roommates. Unfortunately, none of them are streamers. If this was a streamer house, we'd be making millions right now. But, slowly getting there. Location. If you realize that where you are at, there is no market, or the market is not enough for you to live off of it, you have to move out. That's the harsh truth. I'm telling you, none of this is easy. None of this came, I woke up this morning and I realized it. No, it's hard truths. I learned this the hard way. I used to live in Miami. Miami used to have, in the 90s, a really great music video industry where, P. Diddy, Nelly, all the southern rappers were shooting their music video. Lil Wayne were shooting music videos in Miami. When I graduated college and I was looking for a job in Miami, there was none of that. I would get like little random advertising agencies, and they would give me the jobs, but the pay wasn't there. I wouldn't be able to live off of what they paid me. I was still, at the time, I was still living at my grandma's house. But after I graduated, I'm gonna be straight up. After I graduated college, I moved into my grandma's house to look for a job because she was, one, she needed someone to take care, like look after her, and two, she had a spare room. But I think I've been recently hearing rumors. I don't know about rumors, but yeah, I've been hearing talk that because Atlanta's popping, Miami's getting there, but you also have to have the network there, and we'll get to that later. That's what I learned watching Narcos. Location about Miami. Yes, definitely. Honestly, I believe it if a couple of those music videos in the 90s where it was partly produced with drug money. Point number 3, I think one of the most important ones, all right, because a lot of people graduate and they're like, yo, I'm the head honcho, I know my shit. Point number 3 is you're never gonna stop learning, right? You're never going to know everything, and if you think you do, there's always going to be someone that is going to one up you. And even if you achieve their level, that person always has one person that they always look up to, and it's just a vicious cycle. You should never get caught in that, but you should learn from others. You should learn from others' mistakes. You should learn from others what they're doing. You know, if you, like I said, if you want to be an underwater basket weaver, you learn how to do techniques. If you want to be a filmmaker, learn how to light better. If you want to be, you know, a better crochet, learn what other techniques there is to make your crochet stand out. This is $1 million worth knowledge. Oh, thank you, Motivate. I mean, I'm telling you, this is I've gone through it. I've gone through the school of hard knocks. The school of hard knocks, that, you know, you gotta live through it to be able to talk about it. And these are the points that I'm giving out right now is points that I had to learn the hard way. And sometimes you have to learn the hard way because most of us are very stubborn, but learning the hard way sticks with you, as opposed to, you know, someone being like, hey, you know, or you watching a video being like, hey, you should not do these things, where, you know, if you don't know what the consequences are, then you're most likely going to make those same mistakes, no matter if somebody did tell you not to do those same mistakes. Never stop learning, no matter what, whether it be about your craft or how to talk to people, or, you know, how to invest better, because there is a lot of money to be made as a freelancer, but you also have to know how to distribute this money properly. Seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Facts. That is real knowledge right there, Tulsi. Number 4 has got to be, in my opinion, one of the biggest ones, at least the biggest ones that help me in my industry. Network. Your network is your financial safety net, all right? So your network is secondary safety net. If you do a good job at your work, right? Let's say you managed to get a scuba tank and you got into a couple underwater basket weaving contests. This is the example I'm using today. I don't know if you do underwater basket weave. I just feel it's so niche and so, you know, hard to get into that it will kind of prove a point. You are not going to be able to succeed by yourself. I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, there are very few, you know, instances where that does happen. Huck to a girl. But your network is your secondary safety line, all right? When I go to set and I do a good job, I try to make sure I get people's contact numbers, get their Instagram, and not only that, have a good charismatic attitude, not only towards the person, but towards my work. Especially on set, it is a very stressful environment, and you don't want to add to other people's stresses. If you could actually relieve that, people will actually enjoy it. If you do your job properly, it releases stress from other people, because not only do they have to acknowledge, hey, this person is doing their job right, but it also makes me have to do less work because they're doing such a good job that they're hiding my imperfections. So your network is your secondary safety chain. Get people's numbers, talk to them. You don't have to be their friends. You don't really have to like them as much. But if you do a good job, people will acknowledge that. Even if they don't like you, if they're just like, yo, this person sucks, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's going to be a point in that person's life where they're so booked that they need to replace themselves, or they're sick and they're going to need to replace themselves. And even though they don't like you, they rather hire you because they know that you do a good job than hire someone that they like but doesn't have the experience that you do. And this is a fact. right off the bat. We live in a social environment. We are social creatures. And if you would like to succeed in any portion of your career, you have to learn how to network. And with that is point number 5, learn from your mistakes. We're not perfect. You are going to fail. You are going to not be liked by people. You are going to not do the right thing when it comes to, and that is okay. That is part of being human. If you learn from those mistakes and you learn to analyze what you did wrong to be able to improve next time, or if you don't know how to properly talk to someone, you learn they have a specific style of communication. You have to be able to learn from that to be able to communicate better with someone else. I'm assuming you're not going to be able to talk to this person after that. That happens to me. I'm gonna tell you right now, like 20 to 30% of the jobs I'm not liked, and that's okay. I'm not expecting to be liked. I'm expected to be accepted and revered in a way because I know what I'm doing. Now, when it comes to lighting, when it comes to cinematography, whatever it is, I expect that I do such a good job that they acknowledge it. They may not like my attitude, they may not like who I am, my personality. That's okay. As long as they respect my work, that's what matters. But if you learn from what you did wrong, or why I didn't get hired again, or how can I communicate with this department better, that will help you get better as a freelancer. Greatness comes to those who have patience. Finances. I know some of you are here to learn about the money, the green, So financially, I highly recommend you get an accountant. As a freelancer, you cannot do everything. We already spoke about this in the networking. You cannot do everything. Get an accountant, get someone you trust, get someone that is comfortable with your finances. When it comes to money and it comes to redundant numbers, I get lazy. My ADD tricks and just, I'm like, oh shit, video games. Yes, get an accountant. Get someone who's professional at not only giving you tips on how to properly manage your money, but help you with the IRS. Most accountants, if they do your taxes, they will take liability if they mess up, and they will do the correct way of doing the process for free. Your accountant will also help you, in a lot of states, will also help you make an LLC. An LLC is basically a limited liability company. That's what LLC stands for, which means that you are separating yourself, your personal social security, with the money that you're earning. So for this channel, if I get any donations, if I get any tips, any of my videos make me any income, that will go directly through my company, which is taxed completely different than if I were to earn it myself. This comes from W2 jobs and 1099 jobs, but the differentiation of each job comes in a later video. Right now, the whole point is get yourself an accountant, and an accountant will help you understand the difference and help you navigate all of those obstacles that me as a filmmaker or you as an underwater basket weaver don't know or don't understand. An accountant will save you a lot more money than they cost you. The accountant has saved me over thousands of dollars per year when they only charge me hundreds of dollars. Get an accountant. And then the seventh point is get organized. Get organized. Once you completed all those steps and you have clients and you have 3, 8, 20, 30 clients, get organized. Get yourself an agenda or do it digitally. I much rather write it down. It helps me remember. I have an agenda for every year, and it talks about like how much I make per year, who am I working with. It doesn't have to be too detailed. Notes, but your calendar will definitely help you understand what I have to do in certain days and for how long, so that you're able to plan your days accordingly. Getting organized will not only help you communicate to your clients better, but it will help you manage your time in a way where you don't feel pressure, where you would be able to enjoy going on a camping trip and staying away from your computer for more than 2-3 days because you already planned that. Getting organized has helped me raise the level of comfort and relax when it comes to being a freelancer. That and saving money. I'm telling you, most freelancers have to save up a ton of money, not only because of the taxes. Yes, the taxes do suck because if you don't have a company, you're going to be paying a lot more than if you were a sole proprietor. Keeping yourself organized will help you, will help help your company if you do bring anybody else on to assist you, and will help your client happy because you were able to communicate with them what you're currently doing. And that's it. That is my major freelancing point. I really hope you enjoyed that. I really hope that taught you anything. If you have any more questions, or if you have any concerns, or if you just want specific answers as to what the difference between a W-2 is and a 1099 is, like I said, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not trying to give financial advice here, but I'm just trying to get you organized in a way where you see things linearly and don't get overwhelmed by the pressures of having to do so many things at once. I really hope this helped you. I know it's a very hard thing to do. It's easier said than done, but I think, like I said earlier, my last point in that list is patience. Things don't come immediately. Social media has been conditioning us to expect instant gratification, and in reality, life isn't like that. Life takes time, and especially if you're trying to grow in social media, I'm currently experiencing the same thing. You know, it takes time for, you know, your videos to go out, or your words to hit multiple people. But patience is the number one thing that I think a lot of people lack. They want instant gratification, and things just aren't going to come as easy, especially if you don't have the skills. Obviously, if you have the skills, that is a different story. But even if you have the technical knowledge and you know technically how to achieve your job, and you don't know how to talk to people, or you don't know how to manage, you're going to lose that very easily. Have fun is a great thing. Honestly, that's why I'm doing this stream. I mean, I'm sure at some point people expect financial returns from streaming and talking about their knowledge, but I really enjoy, at least myself, I really enjoy streaming and talking to people. I mean, not only just the video games, I feel like sharing my experiences so that you don't have to go through the same hardships I had to go through definitely helps. You're wonderful. Thank you, Motive. I really appreciate you. Thank you for following, by the way. And then yeah, also class, I'm sure you or some of you out there are freelancers. If you can also add into the chat any little things, anything you would like to comment, or you know, any other points you would like to add. I think I hit on most of them, but my freelancing criteria is very broad. I have to manage people, I have to, you know, communicate with other, you know, higher ups, and then I also have to do the technical aspect of things, not to mention the financial aspect of things, which is why I have to have an accountant.